Everything is falling into place for the Houston Rockets, and this could have huge implications on the season as there are new updates regarding Reed Sheppard and what he has been working on doing this offseason. And we're going to give you all those details right here in Rockets Digest. Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Donovan Ricondo, and we're going to talk about Reed Sheppard, who has been a key piece to Rafael Stone's team for next season. He's kept him on this roster to be our backup point guard. And so we're going to discuss a little bit about Reed Sheppard and the recent comments that he's given about this next season. But before we get to that, I just want to say thank you for those of you that are subscribed. We have currently 5288 subscribers. And if you want to stay up to date on all of your Rockets content, this is the channel for you. But now we're going to talk about Reed Sheppard, who had himself not a awful year last year. It wasn't exactly what many people expected from a number 3 overall draft pick, but he is still very much a player in development. He is, figuring out his way in the NBA. He didn't have eye-popping stats, 4.4 points, 1.5 total rebounds, 1.4 assists. He did not play a lot. It was a very similar boat like Cam Whitmore. Those two were kind of in the same position of not getting quite as much playing time just due to how the nature of the rotation was. But Rafael Stone has made it clear Reed Sheppard is going to be playing a lot of minutes next year. He was going to be a key piece in this rotation. It's time for him to live up to that number 3 overall pick status. And so Reed Sheppard recently has been doing a lot of things in the community. He had an event where he bought some school supplies and gear for kids going back to school, him and his family foundation. So credit to him and being able to do something for the kids. While at that event, he held a press conference talking to some reporters discussing the event, but also discussing this upcoming season. They asked him a lot of different questions, and I'm going to go ahead and start with some of the beginning quotes about Reed Sheppard. They asked him if he's been able to meet any of the new guys on the team, like Clint Capella, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Kevin Durant, and he said, quote, "I was able to get up and down with Clint actually today and some last week. So it's really cool being able to meet new guys and be able to play with them a little bit." So shout out to Clint Capella, they returning to Houston. I'm glad he is back. Seeing them kind of, go hand in hand, practicing together, establishing that chemistry early. Of course, there's a bunch of players all around the world right now, technically with Şengün playing for Turkey. So it's good that Reed Sheppard and Clint Capella are solidifying their connection right here in Houston. And we also talked a little bit about what exactly him and Ime Udoka and Rafael Stone have talked about, because they've been at the gym that he said. And he said, quote this, "They've been at the gym and we've been talking. I think the biggest thing this summer is getting in the weight room and defensively just continuing to work on getting better and getting faster and stronger. So really just working on my overall game." But this has been a key piece that Ime Udoka and Rafael Stone have stressed for Reed Sheppard's development is his defense. Can he play elite level defense at an NBA level, right? He's a number 3 overall pick. As great as a shooter as he is, as great as an offensive player that he can be, all of that is very, very good. But at the same time, defense is what is going to give you more playing time. It's going to give you more minutes. And eventually down the line, being the starting point guard once Fred VanVleet's contract is up, or if Fred VanVleet is hurt, can you live up to that task? And defensively, it has been a question for Reed Sheppard. Can he hang defensively? He's been putting in the work. This isn't necessarily new information. We know that he has been working on his defense since last year, at least since the end of the 2025 NBA season. So defense is going to be a key piece in not only Reed Sheppard's season, the upcoming season, but his entire career, as long as he is a Houston Rocket. In addition, he also had a lot of things to say regarding Kevin Durant. And they asked him if he's mad and what he's going to do with Kevin Durant and what he can learn from him. And Reed Sheppard said this. He said, quote, "I'll try and learn as much as I can, obviously. Everyone knows Kevin Durant, knows what he's done in this league and how long he's been in the league. So really just being able to see what all I can take from him, how he goes about his everyday, and see what I can learn." And this has been a common thing that a lot of the younger players on this team have said about Kevin Durant, just seeing how he functions on a daily basis. And so learning from that and growing from and seeing what for sure NBA Hall of Famer, one of the best players in NBA history, is doing and how they train and how they go about their business and sustain a career as long as his is a great thing. We are seeing all these young guys taking note of this and understanding the moment that is in front of them, the guy who is in front of them, and how he prepares every day to be a basketball player in the National Basketball Association. So it's good to see these guys taking note of that. It's what you want to hear as a fan. It's what you want to hear if you're Rafael Stone, if you're Ime Udoka, players doing everything they can to make themselves better. We heard Jabari Smith Jr. say this, Simon Thompson, Şengün, and of course now Reed Sheppard. So all that is good and well. And there's one last quote that I want to take from this interview to show you guys right now, and that is this last one right here. It's about the difference in his game. A reporter asked him, what is the biggest difference from your rookie season till this season? And he said, I think confidence is a big one. And I just also think overall my body. I've been able to get in the weight room and work on defense and continue to work on shooting, ball handling, all that stuff. But I think the biggest thing is confidence. And that to me is instrumental with Reed Sheppard. Last year, he did not play a lot of minutes. It was kind of a question of, did the Rockets make a mistake of drafting him as high as they did, and for him to not really play so much? And as a young player in the league, as a young person in general, that could, kind of destroy your confidence whenever something you think is going to happen doesn't quite happen. It kind of shakes who you are a little bit at your core, at your center. And so not playing a lot and kind of, struggling in those minutes that he was playing, is definitely a shot to your confidence, right? With that being said, right, there's the stint in Summer League, just training for that, and hearing words from Rafael Stone about how he needs to be good for them next year, how he's going to be playing a lot next year. He's going to be in that rotation. He now knows what his position is for sure heading into next season. The fact that Ime and Rafael Stone have kind of cleared that up is a great thing, because it puts in Reed Sheppard's brain that he is going to have to work for what he is going to be next season. And to me, that is the best thing you can do for a young player, is to give them a guideline of, hey, this is what we need. Here is what you're going to have to do for us. We have a great team. We want you to be a part of it. We did not trade you like we did Cam Whitmore, Jalen Green, or Dylan Brooks. You're here. Here's what we want you to do. Now it's ultimately up to you to prove why you are who you are, why we drafted you with the number 3 overall pick. And to me, that is the biggest news that I can possibly find about Reed Sheppard in terms of his development as a Houston Rockets player. I love Reed Sheppard. I like what he's doing for the community. I like what he's doing for his game, establishing some chemistry with Clint Capella, having those discussions with Ime, with Rafael Stone, and understanding what his role is as a young player, and doing everything he can to get better by eyeing Kevin Durant and seeing how he prepares to be a great teammate for the Houston Rockets. And so with all that being said, I am absolutely ecstatic to see what Reed Sheppard's jump is going to be come here too. 4.4 points last year. Not very impressive. Where can that be? I at least would like for that to be doubled this season. At least doubled. I don't want to set a high expectation for a second-year player. I think 8 points per game for a backup PG is perfectly reasonable for a guy as offensively, talented as a guy is Reed Sheppard. And so let me know in the comments, what exactly points per game do you expect Reed Sheppard to have next season? 4.4 last year. I certainly hope it's better. I know it probably will be better. But let me know in the comments what you guys think about Reed Sheppard and these comments, and what you think that PPG will be next season. And with that, I'm your host, Donovan Ricondo. This has been another episode of Rockets Digest. Hit that subscribe button. We'll see you on the next one.